What would possess a 20-year-old vocal powerhouse with billions of digital streams to abruptly tear up a multi-million-dollar contract with Hollywood's most powerful record executives right as she was being positioned to inherit the global pop throne? Tonight, we pierce through the glossy veneer of the commercial music industry to uncover a high-stakes corporate standoff that major label executives desperately hoped would remain behind closed doors. For years, industry insiders watched as prodigy Angelina Jordan was meticulously groomed by Republic Records, the monolithic subsidiary of Universal Music Group responsible for the world's biggest chart-topping acts. The corporate blueprint for her career trajectory was clear, predictable, and incredibly lucrative, yet it came with a hidden psychological price tag that the young artist ultimately found impossible to pay. Our investigation reveals that behind the closed doors of elite Los Angeles boardrooms, a fierce philosophical battle for creative control was quietly reaching its boiling point. Major label executives demanded absolute authority over her sonic direction, her visual aesthetic, and the ownership rights to her master recordings, essentially treating her rare talent as a corporate asset to be manufactured, packaged, and monetized by a boardroom committee. Rather than surrendering her artistic sovereignty to a machine that has swallowed countless young stars before her, Jordan made a shocking, definitive choice that left the entertainment industry completely blindsided. She rejected the corporate empire, walked away from the massive financial security of a major label deal, and stepped directly into the unpredictable wilderness of complete creative independence, leaving the music industry elite deeply terrified of the defiant blueprint she was setting. 1,848 characters. The sudden, unexplained disappearance of an international star from mainstream television screens and major radio playlists frequently signals a career in freefall. But in this specific instance, it marked the beginning of a highly calculated, high-security silent exile. Immediately following her dramatic departure from the corporate system, Jordan vanished from public view, sparking intense media speculation and frantic fan rumors regarding her physical well-being and her professional future. What the public did not realize was that the transition into total independence had triggered a volatile series of real-world crises that forced her inner circle to implement extreme protective measures. Investigative sources confirm that as she began navigating the cutthroat landscape without the protection of a major corporate legal machine, serious security breaches and credible personal threats began to manifest, targeting the young singer. To compound this terrifying situation, massive unpredictable wildfires swept through her residential base in California, threatening her physical safety and forcing an immediate, chaotic relocation of her entire operation. Isolated, physically displaced, and facing intense pressure from an industry that punishes those who defy its rules, Jordan refused to break under the immense strain. While mainstream media outlets prematurely assumed that the overwhelming pressure of fighting Hollywood had permanently fractured her career, she was actually utilizing this period of forced isolation to quietly orchestrate a massive, aggressive professional counteroffensive that would soon explode in her European homeland. 1,822 characters. When a sovereign independent artist openly clashes with a massive, state-funded national broadcasting network, the resulting legal and public relations fallout can permanently destroy a career before it even has a chance to fully mature. This exact scenario played out in spectacular fashion when Jordan found herself locked in a bitter, highly public contract dispute with Norway's national broadcaster, NRK, over her scheduled appearance at the Melodi Grand Prix. Entertainment reporters have pieced together the tense timeline, revealing that Jordan had initially been locked in as the crown jewel of the massive televised event, a production meant to captivate millions of European viewers. However, just days before the official public announcement, her legal team delivered a sudden emergency exit notice to the network's top brass, completely blindsiding television executives who had already invested massive capital into her performance. Refusing to let their star attraction walk away quietly, the national broadcaster launched a fierce, public retaliatory campaign, taking the unprecedented step of demanding heavy financial compensation from the independent artist. Network officials publicly tallied up the losses, demanding immediate repayment for custom-designed wardrobe pieces, elaborate stage construction, and extensive international travel expenses incurred during pre-production. This aggressive institutional backlash exposed the dark, messy reality of what happens when a young performer refuses to bow to state-backed media monopolies, yet the hostile campaign failed to weaken her resolve as she unlocked an entirely new creative weapon. 1,822 characters. Trapped in a dangerous legal crossfire, and completely cut off from the massive songwriting machines of mainstream pop, Jordan pulled off an unprecedented artistic resurrection by digging deep into her own family archives rather than relying on commercial hitmakers. Our investigation into her independent production methods reveals that during her period of intense industry isolation, she completely bypassed traditional studio formulas and hit-making committees. Instead, she immersed herself in a deeply personal hidden archive, the private journals and raw, unpublished poetry of her own grandmother. Collaborating in strict secrecy with legendary multi-platinum producer Toby Gad, she transformed these intimate ancestral writings into a sprawling, independent trilogy of albums, spearheaded by the raw emotional depth of her project, Secret of Love. In a direct, uncompromising rebellion against the overproduced, hyper-engineered landscape of modern radio, Jordan banned all forms of digital pitch correction, artificial vocal layering, and modern studio manipulation from her sessions. Industry insiders were stunned to learn that her vocals were captured in intense, single-take recordings, performed entirely barefoot on the studio floor to maintain an unfiltered, organic connection to the music. This organic approach represented a massive gamble, representing a complete rejection of the sterile, heavily manufactured pop sound that dominates the current charts, and she was about to unleash this raw, uncompromising vision on the live entertainment capital of the world. 1,811 characters. The bright, flashing neon lights of the Las Vegas Strip are built entirely on the concept of constant digital promotion and hypervisibility, which makes Jordan's recent sold-out stadium residency one of the most baffling anomalies in modern entertainment history. When traditional live music promoters catch wind of a major performance, their standard operating procedure involves saturating social media channels with real-time content, viral videos, and algorithmic hype to drive ticket sales. Jordan completely flipped this industry standard on its head by implementing a strict, high-security media blackout across her entire concert run, forcing a complete digital disconnect. Audiences arriving at the venue were met with unprecedented security protocols, as specialized teams required thousands of ticket holders to lock their smartphones, cameras, and recording devices inside specialized, secure pouches for the entire duration of the event. Industry analysts and major label executives confidently predicted an unmitigated disaster, openly arguing that an underground performance completely stripped of internet presence, viral TikTok videos, and instant digital sharing would inevitably collapse at the box office. Instead, the high-risk experiment resulted in a historic, completely sold-out residency that proved her dedicated audience didn't require corporate curation or algorithmic pushing. They were willing to pay premium prices simply to experience raw, authentic human talent in absolute privacy, dealing a massive blow to the traditional marketing playbook. 1,858 characters. By completely cutting ties with the traditional gatekeepers of global entertainment, this 20-year-old independent mogul has officially established her own sovereign multimedia empire, leaving major record labels in a state of absolute strategic panic. Operating under her wholly owned global brand, MOSARZ, Jordan has successfully shattered the long-held industry illusion that an artist must surrender their intellectual property and master recordings to a corporate entity in order to achieve stadium-level global success. Financial analysts tracking the entertainment sector have revealed staggering data showing that by owning her entire distribution pipeline, Jordan is retaining over 80% of her total profit margins, a percentage that is completely unheard of in a traditional major label system where artists often receive less than 15%. Her successful defiance has effectively rewritten the entire economic blueprint for the next generation of digital creators and musical artists alike, proving that corporate gatekeepers are no longer essential for global distribution. As our investigative report concludes, Jordan's journey from a heavily monitored childhood phenomenon to an absolute sovereign independent executive marks a permanent shift in the balance of power within the entertainment industry. It leaves the entire commercial landscape facing an incredibly uncomfortable reality. If a singular independent talent can completely bypass the corporate machine and still dominate the global stage, the era of the manufactured pop star is officially drawing to a close. 1,863 characters.